All right, guys, this one is come with me to get a divorce as a 40-year-old single mom to a teenager in Dallas.
Let's go get a divorce. Thank you, Jesus.
I'm a 40-year-old single mom to a teenager in Dallas, and girl, I love it that way. As I sit here and reflect, girl, that is done and over with, that chapter in my life. The only communication I need to have with this man is once a month over text, and that's just me sending him his credit card balance because he's paying me on a monthly basis, and so far he has been, so I'm grateful for that. And if one day he decides to not pay me, girl, I got so much evidence against you, boy, you better watch out.
Yeah, that lets me know right there vindictiveness lives with this woman here. Okay, I'm just watching, trying to hear what she's saying, because if you listen to a lot of these videos and a lot of these women, they will tell on themselves. They will give you little hints and clues as to why a divorce is even taking place. And this is one thing I just saw and caught on there. Okay. And that's what a lot of women do. Actually, you got to be careful what you tell a woman, man. Sometimes I don't care who it is. If they get upset, they're capable of doing all kinds of dirt to you. Okay. So like I said, listen to what she just said. She's waiting for him to do something that she doesn't like, which is, I guess, stopping payments or whatever. It doesn't even have to be that. It could be anything. It could be him getting a new girlfriend, marrying someone who knows what could set this woman off. But she's laying it out there for you to see that if he does something that she is not happy with, she can end his night early. Okay, so let's continue.
He is so lucky I didn't press charges against him. And I don't know if that was me being dumb or me just caring too much and being dumb. But it is what it is. I was so nervous on this day to go inside the court for the court hearing. I was doing everything under the sun except going inside. I was there 20 minutes early, of course. I went inside the metal detectors and she was like, ma'am, do you have tweezers in here? I said, yes, ma'am. I carry them with me because I pluck my gray hairs out. She was like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to take those back to your car or throw them away outside and go back out the metal detectors. So I did. And when I did, I was like, I don't have time to go back into the car. It's too many steps. I put them on top of a little trash can outside. Girl, and when I was done with court, I walked out, went straight to that trash can. My tweezers were gone. I sure did low-key side-eye the lady that was cleaning. I just knew she'd throw them away. Such a sad moment. They're only $3.99 at Marshall's for a 2-pack. I need to get some more.
Your girl is divorced. Whew. Your girl is divorced.
Back to my maiden name. I'm sorry, Dad. You never deserved that.
That's amazing that she thinks being divorced is a good thing. And looking at her face, looking at her fake clap, looking at her mannerisms in this video, I can read right through that. She is not happy to be divorced. Okay. And most women who get divorced, they either aren't happy then, or they wake up one day later and realize, what did I do? What just happened? Okay. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that, oh, every time there's a divorce, it's always the woman's fault. You know, don't get it twisted. There are exceptions to this rule. I'm sure there's couples, who have divorced and it has been the man's fault and all of that, you know, for whatever he was doing. I'm not saying all that, but I'm saying in most cases, more often than not, guys, it's the women who file. And the reason they file are some of the dumbest shit I have ever heard. Okay. That's all I'm saying. And I'm only telling you guys this because I'm into facts. I'm not into, how I feel about a situation or how somebody makes me feel in certain scenarios, guys. That's what women do. They base their decisions off of how they feel, not what's real, not what's actual facts. And that's where the discrepancy lies, okay, in a lot of instances between men and women. All right. A lot of women choose to get divorced because of the way they feel at the particular time. Right. And let a week or two blow over. They've completely settled down. They've completely changed their mind. But by then, the decision has already been made. Buttons have been pressed. And it is what it is. And a lot of the time, the men aren't going to play these games. They're just like, OK, well, you put me through all this shit. I had to sign this. I had to go about doing that. We've already decided I'm done. I'm not going back. OK, but that's also why you hear a lot of couples, or you see a lot of couples who get divorced. They end up getting back together. OK, I was a product of that myself. My parents got divorced. Some time blew over They got remarried. Then they got divorced again. Okay, so I have been a product of those type of behaviors in the past. And the reason usually that happens is because the woman, quote unquote, changes her mind and she's okay now. Okay, she pulled the trigger the first time. All right. And she talks the man into letting him know, hey, I made a mistake, whatever. And then he goes back and says, okay, all right, sure, cool. And they do it again. And then guess what? They pull the trigger again as time progresses. So by then it's just like whatever. Okay, so my dad was like, yo, all right, I'm done, period. And then my dad meets somebody else and decides to get married. And what does my mother do? When my dad comes to pick us up, okay, to go stay with him for the summer, guess what my mom does when she finds out he's getting married? She doesn't let us go. She says, no, fuck that. They're not going anywhere. We're screaming and crying as little kids to try to go with our dad. Our dad is sitting here begging our mom, you know, hey, Trish, let us. What are you doing, man? Let the boys go. I can't. I drove all the way down here, and she wouldn't let us go. I remember being so mad. I remember being so angry, looking at my mother, and I gave her this look, and it was almost like she could feel what I was actually feeling inside, because she looked at me in such a puzzled way and was like, don't you ever look at me like that again. Because I guess I could have grabbed some foreign object at that time and did whatever. That's how I felt. Like, how could you do this to us? Whatever. All right. And then years later, years down the line, you know, when we became adults, my father told us, you know, stories and things that he never told us before, because of course we were kids and he didn't want to do that. And he said, you know, one thing I could tell you about your mom is your mom never, as long as I've known her, she has never admitted that she was wrong about anything. Never. And my mother used to always bash him, always say he wasn't shit, always say this, say that about him, but he never said anything bad about her. Never. And then, you know, as years went by, I found out more things and more things and more things. And it was a damn travesty. And my mother died alone. She died without anyone by her side, not a significant other by her side. She would always tell me or tell us that, you know, her and so was going to get together and get married and do these things. And whoever this guy was she was talking to, or that guy, and it never happened. And that was the sad thing about all of it. She died alone. And, you know, when you think about it in retrospect, you gotta fucking believe, even though you don't want to, that the decisions she made in her past and the way she was is why that happened to her. And I told myself, I don't ever want to go out like that. You know, my dad is still alive today, and he just had his 70th birthday not too long ago. He's married still to my stepmom, they've been married for, I think, 30 years now. And, you know, just continuing, you know, everybody was there, everybody's loving all these things. And he kind of, you know, stumbled at first. You know, he got with a woman, which was my mother, who he thought he wanted when he was young. And before he really knew himself, before he knew what he wanted. And after realizing who he really was, after all of that, and deciding that, okay, moving forward, I know just because it's attractive doesn't necessarily mean it's good for me. I'm going with what's best for me now. Okay, because now I know what I want and I know myself. And that result gave him who he's married to now and is still married to this day. And I took that lesson from him, because I stumbled as well, and then eventually found the one that I was supposed to be with, because I didn't know myself then either. So it's all about knowing yourself, guys. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but it's all about knowing yourself and knowing what you want and what you will settle for or won't settle for. And the fuckery is out of the window. Okay. I'm not dealing with anybody who is going to have this type of attitude that a lot of these women out here have. And as long as you stand 10 toes down on that, you will eventually find that person. But also always make sure that that woman is into you, is extremely into you. Do not chase a woman. Okay. Do not overly chase a woman. If you have to go about doing that, guys, it's not going to end well. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I can go in deeper, But I'm going to stop here, and I want to thank everybody for watching this video. I want to thank everybody who's already subscribed. And if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. Also, please hit the like button, guys. This is going to help the channel tremendously. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.